I'm Eric Hammerstrom, and I'm here with Coach Steve Murphy
Yeah.
of the Buffalo State Bengals.
Yes.
At your facility. This is a beautiful place. Of course, I'm here primarily with Ice Hockey in Harlem on their trip to Buffalo. It's been a wonderful weekend, and today they were able to the kids from Ice Hockey in Harlem were able to join some of your players.
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, when we were reached out to, I don't even know, a handful of weeks ago, for us, Sundays are an off day. So it was a no-brainer just to get our guys involved and obviously showcase our facilities and have our guys kind of integrate with the Hockey in Harlem group. And yeah, very fortunate. There's a ton of options and a ton of college teams here in Buffalo, and so we're very honored and very fortunate that we were able to do this and work with them. And I think our guys have enjoyed so far the first few hours that we've kind of been able to go along for the ride with them.
Well, it's fantastic that your players are giving back by sharing their knowledge, and I think one thing really important for the kids here at Ice Hockey in Harlem is for them to realize that there's a big world outside of New York City.
Yeah,
it's easy to forget that.
Yeah,
if you're in New York City.
And our guys talked about that a little bit just in the Q&A here, that hockey's pretty much taken them wherever they've gone in life, and maybe allowed them to see and experience some things that they wouldn't otherwise have. And so I just think that's maybe the benefit of sports in general, whether it's hockey or not. But yeah, it is. It's a big world, and there's a lot to experience. And I know that quite a few of those kids are getting ready to go on to college and stuff like that, and hoping that they have some positive experiences when they go out into the real world and maybe away from home too.
Yeah, I think that's you can almost hear a little bit of that nervousness in the questions that they had for your players. It's like, okay, what's it going to be like when I leave home?
Yeah. It's I mean, I remember it, right? It's not easy that first time leaving home, but I think again that's for our guys. They've moved away from home multiple times, right? So it gets a little bit easier, I think, each time. But yeah, it can be scary, nervous. It can be exciting as well. But yeah, it's I guess that's part of life, and there's only one way, I guess, to go through it, and it's to go through it. So
well, it's such a an element of the hockey world as you rise up in levels of play and age, that having to leave home is kind of part of the deal eventually.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, we've got, just for our team in general, I mean, we've got players from all over the world, and one from Russia and one from Finland, and as far away from, California and Canada and stuff like that. So, if it is something that you want to do or you feel passionate about, and hey, it could be hockey, it could be a job, it could be, hey, maybe one day marriage takes you away from home or whatever it is. Yeah, it's something that everyone kind of goes through, and but yeah, I think for our guys coming in and yeah, you're going to a new place, but you also are going somewhere where you have some people that you're familiar with, and that can be different if you don't play sports, right? But just kind of putting yourself out there in the world and being outgoing, and learning or just kind of finding that way of meeting new people, whether that's in the classroom, the social setting here on campus. I think there's a lot of different ways for you to make friends and maybe make it that adjustment a little bit easier.
Awesome. Just checking my audio. My audio levels are good, and so. Gosh, your players did a great job. They just had a panel where they fielded questions from students, but from the Ice Hockey in Harlem players. But they each gave a different perspective on the game. Was there a reason you picked the three young men who spoke to the kids today?
No, you know what, we wanted to integrate everybody today. Some guys went on the ice for the first session, and hey, go out and do what I do, help
Yeah.
the kids and just jump in the drills and laugh and just have fun. Like that's part of being out there. I think part of choosing the 3 first-year kids that we did was because we knew there'd probably be some juniors and seniors that were, maybe moving on in the next phase of their life and picking a college. So I did want to get some kids that most recently here this past August had gone through a similar experience of, maybe what some of the hockey in Harlem kids are going through, and just thought that they'd be 3 good kids that could relate with everybody else in the room.
They were fantastic. I just got to say, I was very, very impressed with your players, and the ice hockey and Harlem kids will be on the ice with Hashik's Heroes coming up. It's really great to see. Buffalo has so much going on in terms of developing hockey players. Yesterday, the ice hockey and Harlem kids were on the ice with Sabres Learn to Play program.
Yeah.
And they have 800 kids in Buffalo in Sabres Learn to Play program. Must be pretty exciting being a head coach in such a hockey town.
It is. It's when I originally I'm from Alaska, and so when I first moved out here, obviously that there's Sabres and there's a couple college teams, but it's crazy. Just I've been out here now for 10, 11 years, and the amount of hockey and just how big hockey is, from youth hockey all the way up to adult hockey. It is a hockey city. It's surrounded by hockey cities: Toronto and Detroit, Columbus, Pittsburgh. All that. So I've got a 6-year-old boy who's just started playing 2-3 years ago. So I'm kind of getting back integrated into the youth hockey side of things. But our rink is filled every single day and every single night with youth hockey, and I think it's obviously it's exciting. Just the amount of people that want to play hockey. Obviously, I think it's the best game in the world. We were obviously happy that our guys could get back this weekend.
Fantastic. You mentioned Alaska. I played college hockey with an Alaskan who was kind of legendary, at least at our school. Reed Whitmore was his name. And Reed was a great player, along with Bryant McBride. And so years later, I worked with Bryant McBride, with a group called the Carnegie Initiative. And we work to make hockey more inclusive and accepting of others. And I work with the Urban Hockey Foundation in Detroit.
Okay.
And so, one thing that these kids were able to find out is that there's a lot more to do in the hockey world than just be a player.
Yeah.
And that's been just a fantastic gift. Yesterday, Dean Barnes from Toronto and Tony McKegney spoke with them. And so much of what is happening on the ice here is really about the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And have you had players from Buffalo State go to the next levels?
Yeah, you know what, we've I'd say that's one of the things that we try to pride ourselves on, and I've been very fortunate in my time here. Obviously, we've recruited some great student athletes, but every year that I've been here, we've been able to push guys on to pro hockey, whether that's over in Europe or here at home in the U.S. You're here at Buff State. You're here to get an education, but the reason these kids choose to come here is to play hockey here, and so part of our recruiting strategy is bringing kids in that want to continue on and play play some pro hockey. I know I'm never going to have 30 student athletes that are like that. We've got some guys that are, going to go on and they're studying biology and doctors and dentists, and some kids in engineering that are going to do some important things in their life. And while they're here, we ask if they go all in, and they do.
They'll play a role for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So. Very fortunate to have a lot of really good young men come through our program, and even the 2 young men in the Hockey in Harlem program that hopefully they decide to come to Buffalo State, the ones that have been accepted here, and if they do, I hope they reach out, and I'd love to keep them working in hockey, whether that's in some form or fashion within our hockey program.
Well, that's awesome, and I think this trip shows them that they will have a good home if they make that choice. So I want to say thank you. How's the season going?
Season, you know what? It's going good. We're a really young team this year. We kind of had a little bit of a disappointing finish to the season last year. This year I've got no complaints. We've got an unbelievable group and unbelievable young men in our program. We're sitting in first place in our conference, so
Nice.
Everything's been going well. Obviously, we have a long way to go, and just kind of continue to take it day by day. But I've loved the group that we've had so far. Just very energetic and very enthused, and they're a different group, but they're a lot of fun to be around.
Good. That's where the laughs we got from your players when you mentioned that this year's video sessions have been a lot better than last year's video sessions.
Exactly.
They giggled. I saw that. So, well, anyway, thank you so much for both taking the time to talk with me, but primarily to work with this group from Ice Hockey in Harlem. They're really special kids.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm glad we got to do it, and hopefully one day the program finds its way back up to Buffalo, and we can do it again. Because I know, like, you and our guys on the ice this morning, just asking them, I go, how'd it go? And they were all smiles. They loved it. It's little things. We don't get to do this often just because we get so busy into our season, whether that's youth hockey or an organization or program like what you guys have. So yeah, I'm glad we were able to make it work, and I know our guys are having a ton of fun, and I'm seeing a lot of smiles, and so that means a lot to us.
That's awesome. Feels good to give back.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime we can do that. So
all right. Hey,
I
thank
appreciate
you very much for the
interview.
interview.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.